Hello everybody, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV, the whiteboard video in just a second, but we're going to be talking about Fan League for a couple of minutes, so let's get on with it. So Fan League is a prediction app where it's free to download if you predict 10 correct from the Premier League and the Championship. So basically 10 out of 13 correct, you'll win cash as well. If you get 13 out of 13, you'll win like literally a lot, let's put it that way. So if you download the free app, which is in the link in the description, you'll get 2 free games. And also if you recruit your mate, you'll also get a free game as well. And they'll also get 2 free games as well. And if they win 10 or above, you'll win some of their cash as well, which is pretty decent as well, innit? Remember to join our league. There's a lot of you who are on our friends list now on the app who haven't actually joined our league. Make sure you join our league as well, Newcastle Fans TV. So if you're new, if you are downloading it for the first time, download it, search for Newcastle Fans TV, add us, and we'll invite you to the league. Right, so last week, after putting on 20 pence bet, that's all it is, after your free games run out, that's all it costs. I just missed out just by one. I got 9 out of 13 incorrect, so I was nearly there getting it right. But did anybody beat me? Well, in fact, yes, 3 of you actually beat me and scored 10 and won cash as well. So well done to Justin Nichols, Joe Wells and Mark Robinson. Mark, I know you personally, so well done on winning some cash as well. So well done. But let's get to the people who really struggled. Adrian Brown, what happened? You scored 4. But Adrian, the good news is you're not the worst player. That honour goes to my mate, Alan Ryder, who scored a pitiful 3 out of 13 correct, Alan. Now, you might have seen Alan in my match vlogs. He's the one with the fancy car. Shocking, Alan. How, Alan? When I'm in the car with you on Saturday, I'm going to give you a few tips just so you know, so you can get your score predictions right and win some money. Bloody hell, Alan, sorted out. Right, so let's have a look at the averages over the season. So the league table, and guess who's back? That's right. Yours sincerely, I am back top of the league. Well done to Justin Nichols, who's also moved up to 2nd. Commiserations to Sean Smith. Your bad week has knocked you down to 5th position. Michael Corbett, you've dropped 6 places to 9th. But I have to give honourable mentions to Mark Robinson, again jumping in massive 12 places to joint 9th in the league. And well done to Joe Wells, moving up 3 places to 18th. And all resets all over again. So the average league seasons, league table, as I've just read out there, you could come in, play 1 game, get 10 out of 10. You go top the league straight away. It's as easy as that. Remember, the top 1,000 people win cash prizes in the whole of the UK. There's 11,000, so you've got a 1 in 11 chance of winning some massive cash prizes at the end. So I'm in there. Speaking of that, I'm actually joint 30th from 11,000. That's not too bad. I'm joint with, again, Mr. DT from Arsenal Fan TV. We seem to be getting the same scores over and over. There's not many YouTubers who are doing well. I think it's just basically me and Mr. DT. The next YouTuber is 442, all the way down in 222nd position. No, 442's the one who do the funny cartoons, Dean who runs it. Well, I tweeted him a couple of weeks back and saying, "How Dean, you've got to sort your act out." And he said he'll beat us, and he still hasn't. I'm still waiting on you. How sort your act out as well. So let's get on to what I'm going to look at this week and see if it give you some tips. As you can see, I've hedged a few bets. But I've gone for straight wins in the Premier League for the likes of Stoke, Newcastle, Man City and Man United. The big one in the Championship is Ipswich versus Norwich, a huge rivalry. Can't see Norwich winning it, unfortunately. And I can't see Everton beating Arsenal back in the Premier League. And Liverpool, I can't see beating Spurs as well. As you can see, I've hedged the 2 bets as well. But get involved in Fan League. It's free to download. You get them 2 free goals. After that, just 20 pence. It's easy money. Right, let's get over to the whiteboard then. Right then, let's get on with the away side, which is Crystal Palace first. It is starting to get dark, so I'll try and speed this video up. So as you can see, I've got Crystal Palace very high up, very counter-attacking. When you look at this formation, you look at the players who are in the positions, you think, that doesn't look right. It's all down to Christian Benteke not being available, and I think that's a benefit for Newcastle because he seemed to be a thorn on everybody's side when he's up for it. However, I think playing against these two, I think whoever plays the centre-back Lascelles and maybe it's Lejeune or Kieran Clark, I think they would prefer a striker who isn't an out-and-out striker rather than 2 pacey players. So looking at how Palace line up, I think, first of all, I think whoever starts in goal, whether it's Hennessy or Speroni, I think I think they've got a weakness. I think they've got an error in them, especially from distance, from about 20 yards, low drives. I think they're strong here, despite Sacco trying back heels in his own box. I think this is probably where Palace are really, really strong. The two centre-backs. I know he missed an absolute golden chance of Burnley a few weeks back, but I think that's where they're strong. I think the full-back positions, I generally think they're very weak. That's where Newcastle need to target. Coming in the pockets behind those full-backs when they bomb on is getting in behind them as well. Now, if you look at who's playing out wide, I think Loftus-Cheek will come back in at left midfield. Ollie, who was on Talk Crystal Palace, who was on the channel the other day, yesterday he said that he thinks that Loftus-Cheek will come in to that left midfield role. I have to agree that I think that will happen. And you're probably thinking, well, Loftus-Cheek and MacArthur aren't naturally wingers, because you would normally have Townsend and Zaha out there with your strikers up top, but we know that they've got a problem at the moment. 3 players coming back to St James's Park. They'll all want to do well. In particular, these two. I know he was obviously on loan at Newcastle, but in particular, this fella, Andros Townsend, I think it's going to be a shoot on sight policy. Do you know how he done so well when we got relegated that time, and he was bringing the ball infield and shooting? He was being a little bit greedy, but he was doing really well for it. I think that's what we're going to see from Andros Townsend, picking the ball up from these kind of pockets of area and then just literally running towards Newcastle's defence. So it's going to be probably, I think, you're probably favouring, you would think, Isaac Hayden to play and stop that, wouldn't you? But will Rafa do that? Now, Zaha, who's without a shadow of a doubt for me, Crystal Palace's best player. He normally plays out on this left flank. When he scored against Chelsea, he came here. Obviously, he was playing as a striker against Chelsea. Went past, I think, who was it? Was it Azpilicueta, might have been? I went past him and then finished bottom corner past, who was it? Courtois, sorry, my mind went blank there. So I think Zaha will then start to drift off as well. So I don't think you're going to see out and out strikers in this position. You're going to see Townsend floating around. You're going to be Zaha floating around. They're going to be very deep, as you can see. I've got them really pushed back. I think Milinovic, if I've said that right, and Cabaye will sit. Now, I don't think Cabaye is the player what he used to be at Newcastle. Don't get me wrong, I still think he's a good player, but he hasn't got the legs as much as what he used to have. Don't get me wrong, he'll play it nicely and he'll spray it as well. I think the machine, as I like to call him, because he's built like one, he's built similar to Jamal Lascelles. I think Loftus-Cheek will then come inbound as well to try and make that the extra, kind of like your attacking midfield role, which will allow Van Aanholt to bomb on. I don't think Ward will bomb on as much. I don't think MacArthur will. I think MacArthur will sit and probably look after your winger. So you're probably looking at Atsu and Richie on both sides. But very makeshift up top, strong. I think the weak in the full-back position, that's where we've got to target. We need to shoot on sight, because I don't rate the goalkeepers, none of them. I think Newcastle could fancy Newcastle. Nick this. Let's get over to Newcastle. Right, Newcastle then. So I think there'll be one change from the draw with Southampton. I think Kieran Clark will come back in for Florian Lejeune. I don't think Lejeune had such a bad game. I know he gave away that daft penalty, but I think Kieran Clark was only rested because he played them 2 games in Ireland, which would have meant that he played 4 games in 10 days. So I think Clark will come in. I think Mankey will keep his place at left back, and I think it's just the rest of them. I think Shelvey will come in. Yes, I'm going to say it. I got the funny feeling that although Isaac Hayden was brilliant against Southampton, I think he'll not play Hayden. But then again, I won't be too shocked if he does, because you need to stop that Zaha and Townsend floating around the edge of the box. But I think he'll go with Shelvey Moreno. Now, Shelvey did play in that number 10 later on in the game against Southampton, which was interesting. But I think this fella, he scored last week. Fantastic. Well done. We've seen him work really hard, in particular at home. Keep it up. I was impressed. I want to say that again. I want to see you have another goal. I want to see you involved. I want to see you pressing. Whether Newcastle play that high pressing, probably, I would have thought so. I think we can do this as well. So looking at how we're going to hurt Crystal Palace, and so as I mentioned, their pockets in behind these kind of areas where you play the ball into. So there's your right back, there's your centre back, there's the other centre back, there's your left back. These kind of pockets is where you want to go for. I think that's where Crystal Palace are vulnerable, and I think it's going to have to be, you're going to ask yourself, right, you need Perez, you need Atsu and Richie to do that. Matt Ritchie's been absolutely fantastic. For me, Richie, Moreno and Lascelles have been the best 3 players this season. We're talking about Matt Ritchie's work rate every game. I don't want to keep talking about it. Let's talk about his quality. So he's absolutely fantastic. It's set pieces. So obviously we know that he comes inbound as well, which then leaves DeAndre Yedlin. Now we're seeing Yedlin get further forward at Southampton, which is probably the first time that you've seen it. I want to see more of it. I want to see Yedlin bombing on, so he's got the license to do that. Atsu, on the other hand, likes to pick the ball up deep, and then he runs at your defence as well. And he also likes to be played in by Mikel Moreno as well. So that's what Atsu would do. I think we need to do this, but Atsu, instead of going down the byline every time, let's come into these channels. Richie already does that as well, so I think that works in Newcastle's favour. If he does go for Shelvey, yes, he'll play his Hollywood balls, but we haven't really seen much of it this season. I know he's been suspended, but when he is playing, he doesn't always do that now, which is maybe that's a tactic that Rafa's played into as well. So obviously we know that Shelvey can bring quality, and if we need a goal, you might see Shelvey play here later on, and maybe Hayden come in as well. I always say Perez will press your man, get on your defender, get on him, work hard. I think that will continue. I fancy him to score again, because you basically you play your strikers on form and you back your striker, so he'll be on the confidence. There's no point dropping him or playing him out of position. Number 10, get him on the ball. Let's get him involved. Let's get him chasing. Mikel Moreno, we know, can bring the ball forward as well, which will cause the likes of Miljajevic, if I've said that right, Kabay as well. I think, again, you've got to target the wingers, their fullbacks, because looking at Palace's wingers, they're going to have MacArthur and probably Loftus-Cheek out wide. They're not naturally wide men. Let's make them work hard. Let's get them doing errors as well. Manquillo, I don't think he'll bomb on his forward as much Yedlin will. However, Hostler will he needs another goal, doesn't he? I know he's got 2, but he needs to be having the ball at his feet. He needs to be bringing players in. He needs to get on the end of crosses as well, movement. But what you tend to find that Perez does is Perez moves all over the place as well, and Hostler just drags his defender over here and over here. That's what I mean by the pocket of space. I think this is where we're going to win the game. Is this week I'm going to say it's the pocket of space that Newcastle will win this. I think there will be goals in it. I think Palace are going to score 2. And I think Newcastle will score 3. I think I'm going for a 3-2 win as well. These two obviously need to just be on speaking terms as well. When I say speaking terms, they're great friends. But what I mean is you're not going to be up against your normal striker. But I think they'll rather be up against Zaha and Townsend than Benteke, because Benteke is strong. He can hold the ball up. He's good in the air. I think Benteke is better in the air than both of those two. And I think Benteke is stronger than both of them personally. Get involved in fan leagues. Bit of fun. You can win. I just missed out by 1 last week, which is a shame. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you later. I say bye-bye. So, can we stop Andros Townsend? Can we stop Wilfred Zaha? Would you play the 4-2-3-1 formation? Would you make any changes to Rafa's normal formation? Comment down below. Also, we'll be at fan cams at the usual place just up from the box office. And if you want to see more Newcastle content, click on one of the boxes on your screen.